Goldilocks and the Three Bears, illustrated by Lillian Obbligato. Once upon a time there were 3 bears who lived in a cozy house in the woods. One was a great big papa bear, one was a middle-sized mama bear, and one was a little wee baby bear. Each one had a bowl for porridge, a great big bowl for the papa bear, a middle-sized bowl for the mama bear, and a little wee bowl for the baby bear. Each bear had a chair to sit in, a great big chair for the papa bear, a middle-sized chair for the mama bear, and a little wee chair for the baby bear. And each bear had a bed to sleep in, a great big bed for the papa bear, a middle-sized bed for the mama bear, and a little wee bed for the baby bear. One morning the bears made porridge for their breakfast and poured it into their bowls. Then they went out into the woods for a walk while the porridge was cooling. While they were away, a little girl named Goldilocks passed by the house and looked in the window. Then she peeped in the keyhole. Seeing nobody in the house, she lifted the latch and went in. Goldilocks should have waited until the bears came home, but since she was a naughty, greedy little girl, she set about helping herself to the porridge. First she tasted the porridge in the great big bowl, but it was too hot. Next she tasted the porridge in the middle-sized bowl, but it was too cold. When she tasted the porridge in the little wee bowl, it was neither too hot nor too cold, but just right. And she liked it so much that she ate it all up, every bit. By this time Goldilocks was tired, so she sat down to rest in the great big chair, but it was too hard. Next she sat down in the middle-sized chair, but it was too soft. When Goldilocks sat down in the little wee chair, it was neither too hard nor too soft, but just right. But she was so heavy that the chair broke all in pieces. Down she came, plump, on the floor, and that made her very cross. Next, Goldilocks went upstairs to the attic where the 3 bears slept. First she lay down on the great big bed, but it was too hard. Then she lay down on the middle-sized bed, but it was too soft. At last she lay down on the little wee bed, and it was neither too hard nor too soft, but just right. So she covered herself and fell fast asleep. By this time, the 3 bears thought that their porridge must be cool, so they came home to eat breakfast. As soon as they walked into the house, they could see that someone had been there. "Somebody has been tasting my porridge," said Papa Bear in his great, gruff voice. "Somebody has been tasting my porridge," said Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. Then the baby bear cried in his little wee voice, "Somebody has been tasting my porridge and has eaten it all up." The 3 bears began to look around. "Somebody has been sitting in my chair," said Papa Bear in his great, gruff voice. "Somebody has been sitting in my chair," said Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. "Somebody has been sitting in my chair and has broken it all in pieces," cried the baby bear in his little wee voice. Next, the 3 bears decided to look upstairs in the attic. "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed," said the Papa Bear in his great, gruff voice. "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed," said the Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed," cried the baby bear in his little wee voice, "and here she is." The little wee voice of the baby bear was so shrill that Goldilocks woke up at once. When she saw the 3 bears, she tumbled out of bed and fled downstairs and out the door. Then she ran away from the bears' house as fast as her little legs could carry her. Whether or not Goldilocks had learned her lesson, no one can say, but the 3 bears never saw her again. The end.